Hello, and welcome to my tutorial on creating brushes. Okay, so last week we downloaded some texture or splatter images from unsplash.com, and this week we're actually going to create those brushes to help us blend in an image onto a wall that we posed as if we're graffitiing. Okay, so that's our end goal. But today we're going to be creating those brushes. Okay, and I'm going to give you two techniques on how to do that. All right. First off, when you open your image, your high resolution image, you're going to unlock it. So in the layers panel over here, you have this little lock. Go ahead and click that, unlock it. And the first thing we're going to do that you don't have to do any of the thinking about is when we create a brush, there's a size limit to it. So what we need to do with our images is we need to change that size. So you need to go to Image, Image Size, and the size limit is 2500 pixels. So you need to change this little drop down to where it actually says pixels. I think for a lot of us, our default's probably going to be inches. So change that to pixels. And you're going to change one of these, the biggest one. So my height is 5700. I'm going to change this to 2500. And with this link, this little link right here, it's going to automatically change my width for me. Okay? I'm going to press OK. And it resizes. So I'm going to press Command 0 to zoom it back in. And we're good to go. Now we can define this as a brush. But first, we're going to do a few preliminary things just to get it ready and prepared. Okay? So we're first going to take our selection tool. This is if you have a solid background. If you have a solid white, solid black, solid gray, a solid background that you can delete from. Okay? So I'm going to take my magic wand tool, or you can press W, and one of these tools might be covering it, but make sure you actually have the magic wand. Okay? Your default is probably going to be 30 or 32. I'm going to change mine to 50, okay? And I'm going to select the white background. It's as simple as that. Click the white, then I'm going to hit delete on my keyboard. Delete or backspace, okay? Now to deselect this, I'm going to just press Command D. All right, so now I've got my selection. Everything is pretty good to go. Other than that, I just can do either my adjustments or I can turn this black and white in the adjustments. Okay, so I can either just go black and white, or I can go levels and change the contrast on this, like with the exposure, or I can do this through the filters as well. So I'm going to Command Z a couple times. I'm going to show you the filters as well. So filter, filter gallery, and I can go to one of these sketch filters. So you could test out artistic as long as you turn it black and white. You could test out all of these, but the ones I want you to focus on are these black and white sketch filters. Okay, so graphic pen, plaster, torn edges. Torn edges is actually the one I'm going to go with. Maybe even stamp. Stamp would look cool as well. But I'm going to go with torn edges, and you can play around with these little sliders. Try to get like a good mix or medium. Okay, I'm going to go with that. So it looks like this. Okay, so now when I go to image, or edit, edit, define brush preset, it'll create this brush for me, okay? And I'm going to name this Splatter 1. That's okay. And now I can repeat this brush over and over again. Up in the options bar, I could actually rotate this. I can do like different settings as well. And I'll get further into detail on that in another video, but I'm just showing you that you've just created your first brush, okay? Now I'm going to show you a different method in creating this brush. So this is another image. It's a little bit different. It doesn't have a black and white background. It's kind of more of a texture, okay? So I'm first going to unlock, then I'm going to take my lasso tool. And with this lasso tool, this is another selection tool, with this lasso tool, we're actually going to go up in the options bar and we're going to change the feather on this. The difference in that is, so if I feather this 40, you see how it has a blurred edge right here? If I don't do that, if I have a feather of 0, it's going to be a hard edge. Okay? So that is the difference there. All right, so again, I'm going to change this to 40. But let's go ahead and change the size of our image again. So if we go to Image, Image Size, change this to 2500. It automatically changed my height here. Press OK. Then I'm going to go take my lasso tool with a 40 pixel, and I'm going to choose a portion of this background image that I like the most, okay? I've done this previously already, and I kind of like this area right here, okay? I'd be fine with brushing in this area in the future, okay? So I got my 40 pixel feather, lassoed it. I'm going to right click this with my lasso tool selected, right click this, layer via copy. So if I look in my layers panel, it's copied. I can turn off the eyeball of the whole background, take my move tool, move this into the center. And now I'm going to do my adjustments to this, okay? Again, I could go through filters and do some filter galleries because this is already pretty much black and white. But I could make sure, I could just go black and white, make sure it's good, play with this a little bit if I need to. I'm also going to do levels, okay? So I'm going to play with these levels. Remember bringing these sliders in, really increasing that contrast. I can move this to the right or left. I'm moving this more to the right, so it's a little bit darker in this area. Okay, because what I'm really aiming for, I really do want like a lot of this noise in here. I do want some of the graininess as well. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get. If I really wanted to get crazy with it, I could come in here and delete all the white stuff, make it more transparent. If I selected my layer 1, delete, I could delete all the white that I see. Okay, that's if I really wanted to get crazy with it. And again, I could go to my filters. So let's try filter. Let's just go insane with it. I'll do the filter gallery. And we'll do graphic pen. We'll see what graphic pen looks like. Okay. Yeah, let's go with it. Let's press OK. All right, we got graphic pen going on now. Now, to combine all these adjustments and my brush that I'm going to do, I'm going to press Command, Shift, and E. What that does is it merges all the visible layers together, all the layers that have the eyeball on. Okay. So from here, I'm just going to go to Edit again, and we're going to go to Define Brush Preset. Again, this is how you save your brushes that you're creating. So Define Brush Preset. This one's going to be Texture 1, and we are good to go. So now I can come in here and brush this in. I can take my settings again. I can rotate it around. Hold on. I'll just do a quick preview of the brush settings. So brush settings, there's things called shape dynamics and scattering. And by doing that, I can preview what my brush looks like over here. Preview what it looks like. I can do angle jitter. I can do count jitter. I can scatter it. Okay. Let's just mess around with this a little bit. So size jitter. Okay. And just by doing that, I can create a texture. Look at this. Just by clicking and dragging through, I'm creating this texture just by changing up shape dynamics and scattering. Okay. And it really randomizes the look of the brush. So if I command minus a little bit, you can kind of see the texture that I've created. Okay. All right. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully it all makes sense, and you'll have more videos to come.